Hello everybody, this is Kyrix, and I'm here to welcome you to another edition of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, July 8th. I was trying to say January for a second there. No, that's not right. But yeah, this is July 8th, Wednesday. And we're gonna do some Minecraft stuff, like we always do. Although a little different than we have been doing. As you can see, we're underground, as we were last time. And no, as of this recording, I still haven't uploaded the last dozen things I was supposed to upload, so... yeah, yay, procrastination! However, I haven't been completely idle. I've actually been getting shit done. I have been recording Harvest Moon on a regular basis. Which is good, because that thing's gonna last me a year. Because, by all accounts, it's gonna be 52 videos. And, well, 52 videos is a lot. I'm gonna plug this up, just so I have an easy way down. Thank you. Torch. 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 And more torch. I've been there. Alright, time to start digging shit out. Anyway, Star Trek happened this week. Yes, it did. And Anubis did not fare so well. However, the new guy actually lost a tournament. Which is a first for him, actually. The driver won the tournament. However, this was an event rather than just a normal tournament, meaning there was more than one part to it. And the grand prize is determined by the sum of all the parts, and the new guy had the higher sum of all the parts. So effectively he won. However, fortunately for our driver, who came in second overall, I had 2 kits. Because as I stated, it was left very ambiguous via the website as to whether or not a grand prize would be included for the judge, as it's supposed to. Matter of fact, the website flat out said, no, it wasn't. Though I had a feeling that was wrong, because number 1, I found another site that said the opposite. And number 2, if they would include grand prize ships for the judge, why not a grand prize set of cards, which is what it was this time. And it turned out I was right, there were 2 of them, but I still had 2 kits. So as a result, I had a $5 entry fee for all of my players to cover the cost of said second kit. The result being that anyone who entered, up to 5 people, and there were 4, would receive the first place prize, pretty much for showing up. So in reality, the whole tournament was moot because, well, we knew who had the grand prize as of last month, because he won the first 2 months. The only way he could not get the grand prize is to literally miss the tournament. That's pretty much all it would take. Or all that could do it, rather. You mean all it takes to not win is to not show up? Yeah, pretty much. But since there were 2, that means that I had a second prize of grand prize stature for my players. And an extra one, which will be for me, basically. And so, pretty much only 2 people didn't get the grand prize. One of them couldn't make it because he had some stuff at home. That was my roommate to deal with. But he did send his money to get his ship, at least. And Anubis didn't do it, and he had a very poor showing. But the problem is, he doesn't read his cards. We've taught him the game, so he knows how to play, he just doesn't read what his cards do. And in a game that's built around what your cards do, when you don't read them, yeah, it's pretty much inviting failure. And the new guy who built his team for him even built, as he put it, the most straightforward team he could think of. So, it's not like we gave him something complicated. He just didn't read his cards. Which is really tragic because he'd have not only done so much better, but possibly whooped some ass if he'd just done the research and read his cards. It would have taken him all of 10 minutes. You know? And it only would have taken him 10 minutes because he's never seen a lot of these before. And I'm willing to bet that if we could just get him over here to practice, he'd become a decent player and actually start winning some stuff. And I've told him, dude, you can borrow my stuff to play whenever. And as you gradually start to win stuff for yourself, you'll have your own figures. And since outside of rare occasions like this, I don't charge an entry fee, you can play for free, win stuff, and keep what you win. I mean, what more do you want out of a tournament? You know? I mean, it's not even a case for the most part of, oh, well, can I get this booster and buy it off you later or something? It's a case of just take stuff, you know? Just borrow my stuff, and if you really are attached to it, I will find a way to get that for you. You know? New guy, for example, a ship, the Alpha Hunter, was one that he was extremely attached to because he did so much with it, you know? So, because he was so attached to that ship and he was showing such a good liking to the game, I hooked him up. I gave him mine. I gave him my own copy of that ship, and he has used it in almost every tournament, and he has won all but one tournament. And even the one he lost, he still took second in. So, and even taking second wasn't a barrier because he'd earned the grand prize already. So, I mean, that could be Anubis. You know, I mean, we don't have the Star Trek player base that we do for HeroClix. We're not sitting here with the best players in the world and he's just not stacking up, like, which is what's happening a lot of times at Clicks. Because we do, without exaggeration, we have some of the best players in the world in our area for HeroClix. And he does hold his own against them. And it has been shown, just like I've told him to his face, that if he were to go to any other venue but ours, where we have the best players in the freaking world, he would clean up. And we took him to another venue, which did not have as good a player base, and he fucking cleaned up. He took second. Matter of fact, in that particular tournament, he placed higher than I did. It also didn't help, although this wasn't the case in that particular tournament, that I have the high tendency of getting matched against the judge's son, who is the aforementioned best in the world. Or at least up there. He consistently takes second at Worlds. And I consistently hold my own against him, so make of that what you will. That being said, I wouldn't... I'm not... If I were to go to Worlds, I wouldn't place as high, because I don't do well in that point value, because they play 300, and they play lots of super hyper meta shit that makes the game not fun for me. Okay, this is going to be awkward, because I haven't given up getting there. But getting there is going to be a thing. Okay. Perfect. Now, can I see? I can see. Yay. So I think that if we get him to actually play some Star Trek with us, he will at least get up to the level that all of our other players are at. You know? And again, we're not among the best in the world. We're still all learning, including me. So it's not unthinkable that he could be a top-tier player in our venue. Or at least to the point where he's earning a prize every week. So it irks me when he does crap like this, where he doesn't even look at his cards. I mean, I realize it's not necessarily your thing. He mostly came so he could win the ship and trade it for HeroClix via our friend the Clicks Judge. You know, just have him put the stuff up, because he himself has traded HeroClix for Star Trek stuff, the HeroClix Judge. So we know there's a market for it. But I told him, I'm like, look, you're better off keeping it yourself, because you're taking the odds that the person you trade with is going to have... is not only going to want Star Trek stuff, which isn't that unthinkable, but is also going to have exactly what you yourself are after. And that is a little bit more of a crapshoot. But I want him to do well. I know he can do well, if he would just apply himself to it. And I keep trying to get him to play, but it's also... to be fair, it's a lot like when he first started Clicks. He kind of phoned in the matches. And it wasn't until he started getting his own stuff that he really started paying more attention to it. Oof, well, this certainly wasn't a wasted excursion, that's for damn sure. No idea when I'll get out of here, but at least while I'm here I'm getting shit. Really wish I had those ender chests, so I could just store all my excess crap in them. But to get them, I have to have Enderman, I think. But either way, let's just say I don't have the resources to get what I need, due to being on Peaceful, and I'm not going to hack them in. Because if you hack in one thing, you may as well start hacking in everything, and I'm not prepared to go to that step yet. So far, I have earned everything I've found in this game. Well, luck has had a factor in it, obviously, but you know what I mean. When I had those diamond shovels, it wasn't because I hacked in diamond, it was because I lucked out and found a bunch of diamond, and then mined it. So yeah, I'm just frustrated with Anubis for that, because he could be something in our vein. He really could. He could be a guy who, just like the new guy, keeps winning shit and winning and winning. And comes up with a nice little collection of ships because he's winning stuff. Now that being said, the new guy has also supplemented his winnings with actual purchases. But not many. Matter of fact, mostly what he's been doing of late is he's been trading with the driver for, like, he's won 2 Klingon ships and he doesn't like the Klingon playstyle. There's nothing wrong with that. So he trades his Klingon ship to her, because she also won Klingon ships, and decided, well, I've got one, I may as well get more, you know. So, yeah, he's actually had her buy him a couple ships in exchange for some really, really powerful Klingon ships. The Cavort class, for those who actually care. Which is a bird of prey type that has thicker hull. It's pretty much identical to the normal bird of prey in the game, except it's got like 2 more hull to it, so it can take a much, much heavier beating, which is important on a ship with no shields. And if you're playing Klingons, you're not raising your shields, because then you can't cloak. I mean, you turn them on just so you can turn them off when you cloak, kind of thing. So yeah, she's traded him for 2 of those. Or 1 of those, rather. She won 1 herself, traded for another one, and bought a 3rd one. Now, that's not to say she bought the 3rd prize. There's an actual Cavort class retail ship that she bought, and now she owns 2 of the prize version as well. So that's something Anubis could do. He could win a ship and say, hey, I'll hook you up with this. You know, for example, if he wins it and she doesn't. And all I want is the Kirk Enterprise, you know. And I still hold out hope that he'll get into the game, because there's whole new sets coming out, you know? And any ship has the potential to be the ship that finally hooks it. Because the new guy, for example, wasn't too super enthused about the game until he found the Alpha Hunter. And even then, it only takes one ship to really get you into a faction. For example, for me, I've recently started collecting the Bajoran faction, which is not that hard to do, really. There's only 3 ships in it, plus Deep Space Nine, which I already had. But the ship that first caught my interest with it was the Ikorum, which is not the Ikorum, the Bajoran Interceptor 5. Not because it's a fantastic ship, because it isn't. But rather because it's got a nice little... I can run it at 75 points, or I can run 3 of them at 75 points and have them be decent support. But no, the ship that sold it on me is the new one that just came out last month, called the Ratosha, which is a scout ship. Now, the problem with the Bajoran ships is they have little snub fighters, and that's all. They're pretty much pre-warp, so they don't have any big cruisers or anything. The biggest ship they own is Deep Space Nine, which they share with the Federation. So it's not even a Bajoran vessel, per se. Granted, you can put Bajorans on it with no faction penalties, because it is also Bajoran. But as far as initiative goes, it's Federation first. But the thing that I noticed about the Bajorans is they have really good cards. They have horrible ships, but really good cards. And I'd said this to one of the hyper meta guys, as I put it, they have great cards. And his response was an indignant, "What great cards?" To which my private response is, dude, you're an asshole. Just because it's not meta, take it to Worlds, it can't be a great card? I mean, there's more to making something good than being meta. There are plenty of hero clicks that'll never be meta, because they're too expensive or whatever, and it doesn't make them not great figures. Like Darkseid, for example. The Darkseid from the Legion of Superheroes set, or as we call it, Slosh, for Superman and Legion of Superheroes, is a great figure. He's a one-man army. I've won tournaments with just Darkseid because he is that powerful. But you'll never see him in Worlds, because he's 350 fucking points. You know? And again, they play 300 there. And even though he is viable at 300 in a 300-point team, he's not your best choice, because all it takes is one series of bad rolls and you lose him. This was exemplified in the first draft we played with him, where Anubis beat me because I could not roll above a 4. It's a match that everyone agrees I had no business losing. And it wasn't because I was playing bad, it was because I was rolling bad. And that just goes to show you that no matter how good your figures are, it doesn't matter if you're getting bad rolls. And it doesn't matter how good your rolls are sometimes if the figure is too powerful. But fortunately for him, he had figures that could hit just hard enough to breach my defense if they could hit. Well, he kept hitting, and I didn't. And he won that match. And then went on to lose in the finals because the guy he fought had a trick that wouldn't have worked on me. Basically, he pulled a bunch of crap. He actually had to play all 10 figures in his 2 boosters and was still under because he pulled really shitty. But the resulting Swarm team also contained a figure that did penetrating damage just by standing next to someone, taking dice completely out of the equation. It just, I stand next to you, you take a damage. I stand next to you, you take a damage. You know? Well, that wouldn't have worked because Darkseid ignores that kind of damage. He just says, penetrating damage, which is damage that can't be reduced. Yeah, he can reduce that. Yeah, he reduces penetrating damage. He ignores it completely. Just, I do 5 penetrating damage. Yeah, I'm going to reduce it to 2 and then take that. Or reduce it to 3 and then take that. And all you can say is, oh man, Darkseid's broken. But, yeah, if I'd gone on into the final match, if I'd been able to beat Anubis, I'd have taken the whole tournament. I didn't care, because I still won the fellowship role and got the prize anyway. But it still stings that I lost to a guy... And this is no crack on Anubis, by the way, because everyone else lost to this guy, too. So it's not just, oh, he's a shitty player. No, no. I just happened to have the team that would have wrecked him. Something everybody, including the player, acknowledges, because the only figure he had that could have potentially hurt me was the penetrating poison guy, which, again, we mentioned I would have ignored. I could have ignored him, and he wouldn't have been able to do anything, and no one else on his team hit hard enough to break my defense. Okay, we're going to start going up now. Because I'm tired of being underground aimlessly. But yeah, this is, again, it's no crack in particular against Anubis, because, like I said, and I stress this partly as an ego stroking, the fact that, yeah, I can take on the second place guy in the world. But this guy was second in the world, and he didn't get that for nothing. He earned that. And he is good. He's one of the players that consistently takes me to the limit whether I win or lose. And sadly, he's going to be moving to California in a month or two, and we're all going to be sad to see him go, because he's a really cool guy to hang out with and do stuff with. You know, I mean, he will absolutely be missed amongst our gaming group. But, again, I just wish Anubis would apply himself with Star Trek, because it's not like in HeroClix where we have this established thing and we have people who've been playing forever, long before Anubis even gets into the scene, you know? Because I taught him how to play, because I'd been playing this game since it came out. Star Trek is, I think, only a couple years old. It's maybe 2 years old, so it's a new game still. He can get in relatively on the ground floor. He's not going to be a massive collector like I've become, because I have the benefit of an Amscot store card. Or not Amscot, but Amazon store card behind me to help me collect everything. But that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a huge collector. He just has to pick a faction, and as long as it's not Borg or Federation that he chooses, he can get everything pretty easily. You know, like, for example, if he wants to go... For example, once I get my Bajoran ships, if he sees those and thinks, God, I want to play Bajorans, then aside from Deep Space Nine, I can hook him up with all the Bajorans. You know? I mean, it's not even that hard to do, because they've got 2 retail ships, technically 3 if you get the retail DS9, and a single prize that isn't even that big a deal. I can get that ship for him. As far as prize ships go, it's almost worthless on the secondary market, because it's not that big a deal. Likewise, Ferengi. Ferengi's a little harder, because one of their ships is a prize from a very obscure tournament. That's the only way I can describe it, because you can't get the prize kits anywhere. They haven't reprinted them, because I know, because I've been trying to get them for my store, so that my players can play for them, and I can get my judge prize without spending $100 frickin' bucks. On a single ship, that is. Getting all 4 of the kits together would cost me about $100. But considering that any one of those ships is worth 40 to 75, pretty much minimum. If one of my players were to win that ship and decide, oh, I don't play this faction, they could put that on eBay and pretty much set their own price. At least for the first week, because just like what happened with the Defiant, as soon as they start flooding the market again, that price is going to drop. And it's ridiculous that any ship should cost $75. And I stress the word ship because we're not talking the big ships like the Borg cube that weighs 5 pounds, which is an exaggeration, probably weighs about 3. Or Deep Space Nine, which is a frickin' space station. We're not talking those. We're talking something roughly the size of the Enterprise D, you know? And the only reason it cost $75 is because nobody was really playing when that tournament first came out, and so nobody has the damn thing. And it's really stupid that that's what gets to set the market in this case. And if they would just reprint that set, then that thing would become available again. And I could complete my set without going bankrupt. Because, see, the thing that really bothers me about that ship is it's not a good ship. Now, when I say that, don't take that to mean that it's a bad ship, because it's not. It's just not a good ship. It's not something that I could ever see myself actually using. And the only problem is I'm collecting Federation. And as I've explained to every one of my friends, and they're like, well, what ship should I get? I'm like, what faction do you play? I play this. I'm like, okay, get all of them. This is a game where you really have to play your entire faction. It's not just, well, I'm the Federation, so I'm going to get the Defiant, and the Excelsior, and the Enterprise, and that's it. No, no. You need Voyager. You need the Hood. You need the Saber-class ship, the Jaeger. You need the Stargazer. You need the other Enterprise. You need the Raven. You need this. You need that. You need every freaking ship in that faction. And the reason is because the thing that makes or breaks a ship is the card you put on it. And some ships don't come with the best cards for that ship. Voyager is probably one of the most meta ships in the game right now. Or at least it has been for a while. Because Voyager is the basis of several Dreadnought teams where you just build a single ship that encompasses all of your firepower at once. You know? And Voyager does this very well. And Voyager has 2 captains. It has Chakotay, and it has Catherine Janeway. What? For a second there, I thought I was outside. That's why I stopped and turned around. And Chakotay is laughably inept. I'm not a fan of Chakotay as a character, and I'm not a fan of his actor as well. Because from what I understand, the guy's an absolute dick to the fans. And I'm sorry that the job wasn't the best thing for you, that you didn't enjoy it as much as you could have. But that's no excuse to be a fucking dick to the fans. You know? It's not our fault that the executives didn't bow and scrape to your every fucking whim. But anyway, Chakotay's power is he disables himself so that 2 other people can do something. Ow! That fucking hurt. Holy goddamn balls. This is where I came down, isn't it? Well, I'll be. That's exactly where I came down. Sure, let's make a couple torches. A couple more torches, that is. Yeah, let's get that down, please. Yeah, I'm reasonably certain that that's the shaft I came down. Well, I'm back on the surface again, for what it's worth. Derp. Oh dear, that looks quite uncomfortable. I really need to watch where I step out here, because this place is dangerous. But, yeah. Ooh, there's my desert. I can see my house from here. Well, I could guess where it is, because there's my pyramid. God, that thing is beautiful when you look at it from a distance. Oh, there's my house. I have no idea why, but there's something deeply satisfying about the shape of a pyramid for some reason. It's just pretty to look at. You look at this thing. It's beautiful. Also, I've apparently laid torches right here. Again, the damn thing just disappears. And there's more torches. Sun's coming up. Let's watch the sunrise for a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm discovering things in Harvest Moon that are pissing me off because they're things that I've been wrong about for like 15 years. You know? So it's not tiny things that I'm wrong about, it's a lot of things. Like, in Harvest Moon Back to Nature, there's a guy named Zach who comes to your house every day at 5 o'clock, gathers up all the stuff you've shipped, and gives you money for it. And it's always been my experience that if you're not there when he does that, you just lose the money. Because I've checked it, I've gone to my farm and checked it, etc. And the money's just not there. Well, it turns out if you go in the house and then go to sleep and the next morning, sometimes it takes one, sometimes it takes the other, but the two always combine to get this result. You will get all of your money. So yeah, it's been frustrating to find that out, that for all these years, and for most of the LP, I was giving out wrong information, like, oh, if you're not here, you lose it. Nope, you don't. I'm just a derp. That is a lot. A lot of frickin' things. But yeah, in the end, it basically turns out that no, you can... That was incorrect. You can be away from the farm and still get your stuff, so for the past 2 or 3 videos I've just been going on about how I'm no longer tethered to the damn farm. Which is a very, very liberating feeling. So, yeah, I'm no longer stuck there to the point where, oh no, I have to do this, or I have to do that, or, yeah, no, I can go wherever the fuck I want to go. And if I don't want to go there, I don't have to. It's beautiful. There's also a couple other little things, like the fact that you can also go to sleep, do all your stuff, ship all your stuff, and go to bed and wake up and have all your money. Which is something that would have made my first winter infinitely more bearable. Because I've always hated winter for that exact reason, because there's nothing to do to fill your day up. So if you ship anything, you have to either give up your money for it, or just stay up and wait for Zach to arrive, which generally involves sitting down in one spot until he comes in and immediately going into the house. Nope. My second winter, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I'll eventually get back to the pyramid, but I'm enjoying my map. I haven't taken a lot of time to just enjoy this place and explore. Pretty much found my water spot and built a house under it, and that was it. Speaking of which, I think I'm due for another stupid project pretty soon. Matter of fact, I know I am. I'm gonna need some dirt. What? Oh, that's right! I found a fortress. I remember that. That was fucking months ago. I think that was from the last time I explored. No, because the last time I explored is when I made that cave, or found that cave, by the mountain. I don't explore often, but I go on little adventures every time I do. So that's fun. And this was a profitable little adventure. I mean, look at that. That's 3 furnaces going to smelt all the ore that I found. There's my dirt. Give me some more dirt. Any more dirt for Kyrix? There's some dirt. And so much more dirt. Perfect. Now, we're going to play with the dirt. It'll be the dirtiest dirt in the whole dirt world. Okay. We're going to go from here. It's the perfect spot. Hi, Wolfie Wolf. Yeah, this is a good spot for it. This operates under a very similar premise to the way I've been doing my other things. Hello, pig. You're not going to want to come up here. But yeah, this operates to a similar premise of... Whoops. Yeah, I'll get it. Of how... Oops, see? It's already starting. Of how I did my underground farm. Sorry, piggy. Did you live? You did. Good. I'm glad. In that, in order to get some grass growing, you gotta lead some grass up. Which is exactly what I'm doing. This will come into play later. Don't you worry. Not quite to cloud level yet. I don't want to get to cloud level. Cloud level's when things start getting a little derpy. Okay, am I... Yeah, this is good for now. I want to say this will all make sense later, but totally won't. This is just a thing I'm doing to do something. Though there is a reason I'm doing this. It's a stupid reason, but it's a reason. Grow, little grass. Grow. Grow to the sky. Sure, let's do this. Because it's not like I haven't been farming enough crap at Harvest Moon, right? Right. Whoops. Didn't mean to break that. But yeah, Harvest Moon has been a thing. It's been a fun thing. I am, at the time of this recording, 19 videos into it. So I've been doing pretty good for myself. It's a very engrossing game. Probably not so much to watch, but definitely to play. And thank you, camera. Come on, come back. Thank you. Yeah, that's actually a thing that happened in the previous Harvest Moon video, is the camera quit on me and then wouldn't come back. So I had to basically do an emergency camera reboot while recording. I could have stopped the video, but the Harvest Moon videos are like an hour and a half long every time. And that would mean I would have to sit through it again while basically re-recording it. Every time I edit a video, I effectively lose recording time because I can't do anything else. I can't play the computer, I can't watch videos, I can't do anything except re-record the thing I already recorded. So small wonder why I don't do that very often. Unless I have to. Right off into the sunset. Yep, right here. That's the sunset. I'm going to ride off into it. Whee! Whee! Going on an adventure. It's also kind of funny because in Harvest Moon, my horse finally became an actual rideable horse and not just there. So tempted to ride this horse just right into that lava for all the times the other horses have escaped. Can't see. Horse in the way. Oops. Hold on. How do I... There we go. It's been a while. Yaha! Horse! Horse some more. Can I place torches on horseback? I can. Nice. Do 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 do. Yeah. Oh look, a well. Hello, well. I've been here before. At least I'm pretty sure I have. I've been damn near everywhere on the surface, at least. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. I know where I am. Why? Because I have torches, they are plentiful, and I can give two shits. Plus, it's kind of cool to see that glow effect. Run, you stupid horse. Or is this just as fast as I can go now? I wonder if the horse will get hurt if I do what I'm about to do. Probably, but at least I'll get my saddle back. Want to blare the Rocky music right there. Whee! Wow, apparently I can hurt it that way. Whoops. Apparently also horses don't regenerate. At least not to the same degree. There we go. But I can feed him wheat, and he will live. So that's cool. Get down so I can... Well, I guess that works too. So, how much time is left? I've kind of run out of shit to do. 11 minutes. I'm running out of ways to procrastinate. I don't want to do any real work in this video. Ooh, more ways to procrastinate. Gimme, gimme, gimme. That's the wrong button, you tool. All this XP that I'm never gonna use. God, I hate how ugly and patchwork this all looks. Wow, that's pretty damn cool, actually. I've got an entire half of the pyramid done. Unfortunately, it's not the middle half. It's just kind of there. There we go. Alright. I did at least get to indulge my craving for donuts yesterday. Well, the day before yesterday. Which was nice. I don't get donuts very often. I also got a bunch of chicken. We're actually doing pretty good with the house on food stamps right now. Like, we've managed to stretch everything a lot farther than we normally would have. And even though my food, for example, is starting to peter out, and I think the roommates are as well, Mom's food stamps are about to kick in. So yeah, we've been doing really good as a group. Because we don't necessarily just get stuff for ourselves, it's like lots of house meals. Like I used mine to buy a bunch of chicken, for example. And I bought a whole bunch of hamburger and macaroni and tomato soup to make goulash with, which is stuff that everyone in the house can and will eat. So, like, one of the things we're probably going to do is have Mom make another, well, buy another $30 chunk of goulash where we get enough for the whole house, because the goulash that I made was 2 pounds, and it fed most of us for like 2 or 3 days. Partly because we're still at the beginning of the month and we have other things we can eat. Last month, we used the last of her stamps to buy $30 worth of stuff for it. And that fed everybody in the house. Me, my roommate, my niece, and my mother. And keep in mind, my roommate and I are fucking huge and we eat a lot of food. And it fed all of us every single meal for 2 days. And I could possibly, whoops, even get away with fitting 4 pounds into that big pan. Certainly get a lot more actual hamburger meat, because I had to scrape together at the last second to get the meat that we had. Oops. Because we were getting, well, I was, because I went on the food run. I was getting towards the bottom of the financial barrel, because she had about $30 or so on the card when I went and got everything. And towards the end of it, she had like 10 cents left, or like a penny. It was between 1 and 10 cents left on the card. That's how close I got it. So I had to settle for 6 pounds of meat, 3 pounds of macaroni, 3 really big jugs of tomato soup. Or tomato juice, rather, like gallon jugs. And whatnot. And if we do it again, I think this time I could probably get away with like 4 pounds of macaroni and maybe 8 to 10 pounds of hamburger. If I can talk her into that again. Because granted, it's one meal, but it's one meal that lasts the entire house days, you know? Like, I was talking to my roommate when we were up at the store shopping this month, and he mentioned that he wanted to get some steaks for himself, and that my niece might yell at him for it, and I told him, look, every now and then you just gotta splurge on yourself. Don't do it all the time, but like, for example, I'm known to get, when they have my Kentucky Legend brand hams, which are boneless oven-baked hams, because I'm helpless at carving, but those big boneless chunks, you just grab those things and just carve off meat. Just tear off meat. You could, if you were inclined to do, and one of these days I just might be inclined to do so, you could just probably pick that thing up and just eat it like a giant fleshy corn on the cob kind of thing. But I told him, there's a reason I only get hams like once every couple months. He's like, yeah, I've noticed that. Every other month or so, you'll come home with a big ham. One time I did 2 or 3 hams, because first I found the little ones, then I found 2 big ones on sale. And you can't miss, like, 14, 15 pounds of meat cheap, you know? It's not something you turn away from. And the reason being, because every now and then you gotta pamper yourself. I mean, yes, food stamps do get you meals, but you can get meals and still have leeway to get other things to make things... Basically, you can get food. You know, like just food to fuel you, etc. But that leads to a rather dull life. You end up getting really, really sick of that really, really fast kind of thing, you know? And, so you have to get things for yourself. Like, I tend to have a snack budget of between 20 and 40 bucks, which I hit at a remarkable pace this month because when I went to Big Lots, all the snack shit was on clearance. For one thing, their chips are always like a bag of Doritos will cost you $4.50 at most stores. At Big Lots, I can get 2 for $5, you know? So that makes Doritos affordable on a very fixed budget. They also have this huge bag of pretzels for like $2. Well, in this case, pretzel sticks, but they also have normal pretzels. Well, I happen to see a shopping cart full of clearance stuff. There's like graham crackers, $1.50. 10-pack of Oreos for like $2.25. You know. So I bought 2 of those big Oreo boxes and like 5 boxes of graham crackers because I like graham crackers. So sue me, you know. And then I found these little mini mint Oreos that I bought, and I got a 3-pack of Pop-Tarts. It's basically 3 of the big boxes of Pop-Tarts in one giant box. So I have Pop-Tarts when I am so inclined to eat them. You know, it's just... Because of that, my snack budget has been spread farther than usual. And so as a result, I've been able to focus even more on food. Because whenever I go to the store, it's like, oh, I don't need any pastries, I've got this. I don't need any chips, I got this. I don't need any candy, I've got this. Speaking of chips, the barbecue-flavored Fritos, which are very, very hard to come by in several parts of the country. Because I've tried looking into why they're so rare, and I've seen websites, like Ask websites, like, do you know where I can find them in Tennessee? Oh, there's one store in Tennessee that has them. Oh, there's like 2 places in all of Kentucky that have them, that kind of thing. There have literally been times when I have wondered if barbecue Fritos were illegal. If there'd been some kind of recall that they've been pulled from the shelves because of how hard they are to find. And as stupid as that sounds, if you've ever tried to find them, you know what it's like. Well, months ago... Well, first off, when I first moved in, my friend Sammy, I talked her into sending me some, because she'd sent... I had told her, like, oh, I can't find him here, and it sucks, because that's my favorite chip. And it is. For reasons I'll get into in a minute. I will give you a dissertation on the glory of barbecued Fritos. But she mentioned, oh, I think we have a store up here that sells them. I'll send you some. I held her to this. Because one does not dangle my favorite chip in front of me and not deliver. And sure enough, she did shortly after I moved in here. The reason it was shortly after I moved in is because I was about to move and I wanted to make sure my address worked so she didn't send me to the old trailer and have them get lost in the mail. Nope, no timer. I'm talking about Fritos. course, when I talk about something I want to talk about, it fucking goes off, but could have used it 20 minutes ago. No, you gotta dig through the pyramid. But no, she sent me 4 bags of it. Yeah, they were 4 bags from Amazon. And as it so happened, they came at a time in which I was broke. As in, I'd spent all my money getting into the house, kind of broke, and most of the food stamps had been spent while I was moving because our kitchen was pretty much... Let me put it this way. The trailer I used to live at was torn down because the damn thing was pretty much condemned. It was falling apart by the time we moved out of it, and we could not afford to pay for it. And because it was a trailer that was privately owned, maintenance didn't exist, so we couldn't have them fix it either. And as we were sitting there in that thing, like, we didn't have... All our dishes were packed, and all our pots and pans were packed, so we couldn't cook anything. Which meant that what we were eating during the move, because moving takes a lot of energy. So basically what we ate during the move was either stuff I could fit in the deep fryer, which was one of the last things to go, or just random shit from the gas station. Like, I told people I got into the honey buns, little Tasty Cake brand honey buns. Think giant cinnamon rolls, basically, kind of thing. Well, not quite cinnamon rolls, more like a really big, flat glazed donut kind of thing. And I ate a lot of those because they were cheap, and I could get them on food stamps, and they were a quick burst of energy. They were basically a mini breakfast. And so, again, I'd spent most of the food stamps I had in that manner, because we were trying to feed everybody in the house, and my roommate had not yet applied for stamps himself. My niece was draining her food stamps trying to keep everyone going. So, as a result, we were low on food. Well, one of the reasons that I like barbecue Fritos so much is because they're a very filling chip. That meaning that you can eat a whole lot of them, or you can eat a little bit of them, and they last for quite a while. So, in a pinch, if you're not too active, they can double as meals. Now, the situation I just described is, oh, I'm broke, I have no money for food, etc. And my friend from another state, I'm sorry, Sammy, I can never remember what state you're in, sent me these chips that basically double as mini meals. So for pretty much a week, those supplemented what little I was eating, and that's how I got through the month of February. Was just what little I had left on food stamps, which was a lot of mac and cheese, really, and Fritos. Well, like 2 months later, after I ran out of those, my niece tried to go to check out these apartments nearby to get her guardian. She calls her mom, which, yeah, but she's been her legal guardian kind of thing. And she tried to get her mom into there, her guardian, whatever. I don't even know what I'm calling her anymore. And she had been out a lot that day, and she kind of passed out, and some guy helped her up. And she, in a weird moment of clarity that I probably wouldn't have possessed if I just passed out in the street, happened to notice that he had a bag of barbecue Fritos, and she's like, dude, where'd you get those? Like, oh, I bought them at the Big Lots, the one across the street from me. And she came back and told me, and I borrowed food stamps from my roommate, I think, to get this, but I went over there, and sure enough, there was a bag of barbecue Fritos, which I bought and fucking devoured. Now, for a period of about a month or two, I couldn't find them in stock again, so I was wondering if that was just some weird fluke. Then one day, I happened to go with them to Big Lots, because sometimes they'll go to the store and I'll go with them just to have something to do, you know? Gives me a chance to talk with them, get out of the house, that kind of thing. And when I did this, there was another bag of barbecue Fritos, so I spent Like, I basically paid for 2/3 of it and had him cover the last bit of it for me. And this last time when I went up, they had 3 bags in stock, and I bought every freaking one of them. So, it's kind of a crapshoot whether or not they'll have them, but my favorite chip is back in stock, and there's a store that has them, and it makes me very happy. It's sad that something so simple should make me very happy, but it totally does. And if you've never had a favorite something that was really rare, you just can't understand. And as of now, I have opened and eaten almost all of one bag. And the only reason that was open is because my mom ran the bag over with a wheelchair and it popped open. And I had to put it in basically a freezer bag before it went stale. And I've been gnawing on that. The other 2 bags will probably last me most of the month, because I'm not particularly craving them. And like I said, barbecue Fritos go a long, long way. And I'm going to finish this row before I stop. But yeah, like I said, just because... Yeah, food stamps doesn't necessarily have to be a subsistence thing. And in case you're wondering how I managed to feed myself and still be able to get like $30 for goulash or whatever, here's how. At the start of the month, you go and you buy $20 of ramen. And when you run out of food, you eat ramen. I was going to do that this month, but while we were at Walmart, my roommate's like, no, I got it this time. And that gets about 110, 120 packs of ramen. And even me, who eats them 4 at a time, that's a month's worth of meals if I eat nothing but. When you consider the fact that we've got 4 people's worth of food stamps, and we go to the food bank to supplement that, then, well, let's just say I don't have to eat ramen for more than a week and a half, at the absolute worst. So yeah, that's how I do that. It's not just, oh, I spend my money frivolously. No. I allow myself some frivolous stuff, and I do get real meals. That being said, for some reason this month we've done exceptionally well. And no one's quite sure how we did it. That is a lot of fucking sand. I guess I'm going to put this stuff away first, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to end the video. Still boggles my mind just how much freaking sand I have. And how much sand went into the construction of this pyramid. Because keep in mind, it's not just the sand inside it, it's also the sand that was ground into sandstone and then into stairs outside it. And that adds up to a lot of goddamn sand. So let's see, cobblestone, glowstone, all the sand in the world that's ever been. But yeah, it's been an interesting week so far. And I have no idea if this will be uploaded the week it's actually recorded or not. I've pretty much given up on getting these things on time. The problem was that 1 or 2 week, the 1 week off where I didn't record anything threw me. because now it's all I can do to get anything done. Anyway, I'm Kyrix, and this has been This Week in Kyrix, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye!